But the story that's breaking this evening is coming from Punjab, where the police are now moving the farmers who've been agitating there for months forcibly out of the border area. The Punjab police have now detained 200 farmers in Ghanori. Farmers are also being moved out of the Shambhu border. Sources telling India Today around 3,000 police personnel are there in the border areas, and even bulldozers are now being used to remove the temporary structures. The farmers have been on protest there since February 13, 2024. So the farmers agitating in Punjab are being removed. These are farmers who've been protesting. Their demands earlier included, of course, the withdrawal of the farm laws that the Modi government had done. Now they've raised more questions of the Punjab government itself. Kamaljit is joining us. Our Punjab Bureau Chief joins me from the border. Kamaljit, can you tell us what exactly has sparked off the police's decision to now swoop down and arrest or detain all the farmers, make them withdraw from the border areas?
Well, in a surprise move, the Punjab government and Punjab police, in a sudden action, have removed all the farmers from Shambhu border. That's a big claim really coming in almost a year. And that's when you see all these shanties have been removed. These were actually just a town which was created on Shambhu border itself. These are areas where the farmers had been camping, and today was specifically a day where the farmers were speaking to the centre as well as representatives of Punjab government, and that is when suddenly we saw Punjab police swooping down and obviously coming, not only detailing top farmer leaders but also all these farmers. And remember, at least 250 were present here, and we've been told at least 50 of them are detained. They were in talks and it was done almost peacefully. That's what we've been told. And there has been resistance coming in from a handful of those, and they are the ones who have now been detained. But clearly, this is a big action now really coming in.
Kamaljit, can you explain?
Late hours.
Can you explain to our viewers? Can you explain to our viewers what exactly have the farm protests been all about? Because I want to go back to the early protests that took place in 2020-21. Kamaljit, were about the protests that took place in 2020-21 were against the farm laws of the Narendra Modi government. Now, interestingly, this action which is being taken by the Aam Aadmi Party government, headed there by Bhagwant Mann. Can you give us, Kamaljit, what exactly are the farmers protesting about since 2024? What's the difference between the protests now and when the protests were taking place when the Narendra Modi government was taking on the farmers at that time? Okay, we'll try and go back to Kamaljit Sandhu. Remember, those are the visuals that we are getting at the moment from the border there in Punjab-Haryana border. Kamaljit, can you explain to us what exactly have the farmers been protesting about this time? Can you very succinctly summarize what is the main demand of the farmers at the moment?
The stalemate is still regarding the minimum support price. There have been several other demands. There's also talk about how they wanted other things as well, but clearly this has not gone down well, because remember, the feedback the Aam Aadmi Party was getting was that the commoners were getting disturbed. It was also financial losses to industrialists who seemed very, very annoyed at not just the frequent protests but also the blockage of Shambhu as well as Ghanori border. And remember, even Arvind Kejriwal and Bhagwant Mann, who've been camping together in Punjab for the past few days, that is what has been told. Taranjit Saund, one of the cabinet ministers, today spoke, and he said there are extreme financial losses and we can't bear that. We are with the farmers, but remember, these are the images which are not going to go down well, because remember, there is a calculated risk that the Aam Aadmi Party has taken. They believe that the farmers cannot be made happy. They also know that Aam Aadmi parties can take that sort of a risk, because the farmers' demands have been exceeding, and even their presence, whether it's elections or otherwise, has not really borne results. So they feel that if they actually put aside this particular group, they can actually appeal and appease to the other groups who've actually been antagonized by the farmers. So that's a big calculated risk taken by Aam Aadmi Party. Also coming at a time where Ludhiana West elections are to take place, and Ludhiana is predominantly industry-based town, and that is where all these calculations have really come in. But it could turn the big way around for them, because remember, the heat could now turn out against the Aam Aadmi Party rather than the Saffron Party, which is the BJP. And remember, this is a big move coming in. And remember, both Ghanori as well as Shambhu border, that's where action is taking place.
I'm going to stop you at the moment. What you're telling us clearly, this is a political risk being taken by the Aam Aadmi Party. They've gone ahead, detained these farmers. They've been protesting since last year. And clearly the Punjab government has been at its wits' end to try and bring an end to these farmer protests. But those images will reverberate, as remember the images did when the farm laws were brought in by the Modi government. This time the shoe is on the foot of the Aam Aadmi Party government. I'm going to leave it there. So let's raise those questions that disturbing story and those riots have raised. Was the Nagpur violence pre-planned as claimed by the Chief Minister? Or are we seeing a law and order breakdown that caught the police napping? What should the police be doing in such situations to ensure peace? I'm joined by Miran Chadda Borwankar, former police commissioner in Pune. Jammu Anand is a Nagpur-based social activist, has taken up many such cases in Nagpur where public has been affected and taken on the politicians in particular. And Vivek Deshpande is a senior journalist who's been in Nagpur for several years. I appreciate you joining us on the show. Ms. Borwankar, I want to ask you at the very outset, when you see those images that have been played out where the police has been targeted, where now we are told even women cops were targeted, what's your sense? Was this pre-planned, you believe, given the scale of it? Or do you believe there was an element of spontaneity of an action and a reaction?
Looking at the atmosphere in Maharashtra and the kind of irresponsible statements being made by those in power, I was waiting for it. I knew it is coming. So when even a retired police officer can see it coming, a citizen on the ground, especially if he's or she is a mischievous one, they not only see it coming, they plan for it. Once they plan for it, even a protest, once it turns into a mob, you lose total control. Then not only do they protest, they become violent. They don't even spare women, children. So this is, Maharashtra government should have seen it coming.
No. What do you mean by Maharashtra government should have seen it coming? Let me give some context to our viewers. As you say, there have been inflammatory speeches made about raising Aurangzeb's tomb. They have been made, and there have been past clashes. I want to give our viewers a sense of chronology, and I'll come back to you, ma'am. 31st March 2023, we had seen clashes in Mumbai during a Ram Navami procession in Malad. 31st March 2023, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar in Maharashtra, a mob pelted stones at a police near a temple on the eve of Ram Navami. 4th April 2023 in Jalgaon, there were clashes over processions playing loud music outside a mosque. In Ahmednagar, 14th May 2023, clashes during a procession on Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj Jayanti. In June 2023, Maharashtra's Aurangzeb's poster flashed in Ahmednagar led to riots. The same thing also happened in Kolhapur. Aurangzeb effigies then were burnt in Mumbai. September 2024, Bhiwandi, communal tension during a Ganpati Visarjan procession. March 17, 2025, we are seeing this happening in Nagpur. I also want to add Satara, where we also saw communal clashes 2 years ago. So when you say the police should have seen it coming, Miran Borwankar, are you referring to what I just showed, that there is a pattern emerging in Maharashtra over the last couple of years?
Yes, definitely. And I would not blame anyone except the political leadership of all parties, not of any particular party.
You're making a very serious, you're claiming that the politicians are the ones who are fanning these flames, is it?
Yeah, they are fanning it, and the statements, if you hear them talk, I mean, like, how can either community remain silent? Somebody is going to play mischief and you're playing with fire.
You know, you're making again very strong comments, and I want to play some of those inflammatory remarks. Nitesh Rane is a minister in the Maharashtra government, and he is the one who's being accused of making very threatening statements in public, which are seen as pure hate speech, gets away with it. Also, in the last couple of weeks, T. Raja Singh, Telangana MLA, has been in Maharashtra addressing public rallies. Listening to what both of them have had to say in recent times, and then I'll come to the other guests.
हमारे रामगिरी महाराज के खिलाफ अगर कुछ भी मस्ती तुम लोगों ने किसने भी की तो तुम्हारे के अंदर आके चुन चुन के मारेंगे, इतना ध्यान में रखो।
39 डेज हर दिन संभाजी महाराज का एक एक अंग काट कर ये कहा जाता था कि इस्लाम कबूल करेगा या नहीं करेगा। औरंगजेब द्वारा किया गया अत्याचार अब नहीं भूल सकता, इसलिए आज पूरे भारत में एक प्रेशर बन चुका है, एक माहौल बन चुका है कि किसी हालत में औरंगजेब की खबर उखड़नी चाहिए। और आने वाला चुनाव आप देखेंगे, अगर ये सरकार आज नहीं उखाड़ेगी लेकिन आने वाले समय में तो 100% उखाड़ेगी। जो खबर उखाड़ेगा महाराष्ट्र की जनता उसको ही सत्ता देगी, एक माहौल बनेगा।
Those are comments being made by our leader. Jammu Anand, you've been watching Maharashtra leaders over the years. Are you seeing now, on both sides of the divide, when I look at even Abu Azmi's statements, and I'll play Abu Azmi also in a moment, that a sense of a Hindu-Muslim conflict is being built up into Maharashtra, the latest being this demand that Aurangzeb's tomb be razed?
See, Rajdeep, I totally agree with the former police officer Miratai. Actually, for last couple of years, this is being in making. And as you rightly put out the chronology of events, how the communal flare-up is being built in Maharashtra. And after this Chhawa film released, on record, the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis admitted that it is the impact of the Chhawa film, and he attributed the film is mainly responsible. But particularly the BJP and Bajrang Dal Vishwa Hindu Parishad, for a couple of years, they are trying to create a situation where the communal peace of Maharashtra and the Maharashtra society should be polarized between Hindus and Muslims. And Aurangzeb, of course, for last many years, these forces were trying to rake up this issue, and in making that, they got Nagpur, which is one of the oldest cities and known for peace, communal harmony, and many communities lived for years together in very peaceful manner. And day before yesterday's incident has brought a blot on the Nagpur.
But actually, why? You know that's
the entire intelligence and the police in particular.
Okay, 1 minute. Vivek Deshpande, you're someone who's been covering Nagpur and Vidarbha extensively over the last couple of decades. Why Nagpur? You see, the question is, many of these inflammatory speeches have been made in other parts of Maharashtra, in Pune, in Mumbai, in Thane. How come Nagpur got affected? What happened? It seems, according to some, that Muslim groups were mobilized. They were waiting for an opportunity. The key accused, Fahim Khan, is seen to have been contested the Lok Sabha elections, running his own little party. Were the Muslim groups also waiting for this opportunity to strike back?
But Rajdeep, I think we have to see this whole thing in totality. You have read the chronology, but I think the chronology dates back to at least about 3 years, ever since this so-called Sakal Hindu Samaj rallies are being held in Maharashtra, and Muslims are being provoked into some kind of reaction, which I think has come at Nagpur finally. Over the last 2-3 years, Muslims have not retorted, or they have not reacted with as much vengeance with which they have reacted at Nagpur. So I think Nagpur just becomes the destination where this outpouring
So why
has to
now?
be.
No, but why now, Vivek? And who is Fahim Khan? I mean, you're saying the Sakar Hindu Samaj has been carrying on these agitations on issues like love jihad and other issues for the last few years. Who is Fahim Khan and why would he get involved in this, according to you?
Rajdeep, I think we know very little about this man called Fahim Khan because his name has cropped up only today. The only fact that he has fought Lok Sabha election doesn't suffice to make an opinion about him. And I think he is the guy who had first gone to the police station to register a complaint against the Bajrang Dal activists who had kind of burnt some chadar where some kalmas and aitas of Quran were written. One could see the chadar, but one could not see what was written on it. But why was the chadar burned there? That is the question. So he went to the police station apparently to register a complaint. Police did not take any cognizance. That is the version that that comes from the other side. Mm-hmm. So if the police have not taken cognizance of this complaint, it must have made the Muslims angry. The fact that they reacted in such a violent manner shows that it was pre-planned because they were ready for it. Now, it was not just pre-planned from this side. It was also pre-planned from the Hindu side because if this was pre-planned, as one of the BJP's MLAs himself is saying that this is a failure of the police. How did the police not have the intelligence? So it's possible that the police had the intelligence and they let it happen. And otherwise, if the police did not have the intelligence...
You're making a very serious charge. The police may have had the intelligence, let it happen. Miran Borvankar, you're hearing Vivek? Yes, sorry.
Rajdeep, I am discussing two options. One is the police knew about it and they let it happen. Otherwise, if the police did not know about it, it is a failure of the police. And it is not just the failure of the police, as Praveen Datke, who is the Central Nagpur BJP MLA, has very emphatically said that it is a failure of the police. If it is a failure of the police, then I think the blame straight away goes to the Chief Minister, who is handling the home portfolio. So is Mr. Datke pointing towards his own Chief Minister when he says that there was intelligence failure or the police failure? And if the police failure was not there, if the police did have the intelligence, why did they not act? I mean, there are two sets of questions before the police. They need to answer that. So pre-planned, it seems, was from both the sides, because Bajrang Dal organized this ridiculous protest across the state for a reason which does not concern the Hindus' daily life at all. I mean, Aurangzeb and his tomb is not a subject for which you should agitate on such a mass scale. It is not a very pressing issue for the Hindus. And you are not trying to protect any Hindu interest by raking this issue up. So it is quite orchestrated from the one side, and they were waiting for the reaction from the other side. The reaction...
Okay, I take your point, Vivek. I take your point now. You believe that there was an element of orchestration both from Hindu groups which have been escalating communal tension and for Muslim groups who retaliated. But Miran Borvankar, the point which is being made about the police, either there's an intelligence failure or that according to some, the police was, at least that's what the Muslim side says, was only lathi charging one side, was not taking action against the other. But the images clearly have shown that after 5 p.m., it was the Muslim groups which mobilized, which targeted public property. Do you believe the police is even-handed, or has the police also got caught in this communal divide in a state like Maharashtra?
So one, I very strongly disagree that police knew about it and decided to look the other way. However unprofessional we may be, but not to this extent that we will look the other way. Second, sitting here, you and me in our rooms and maybe your AC chambers, we can say it was a failure of intelligence. But I am telling you, 4 people coming to protest immediately become 40, and then the mob you are not able to control. So I would say that yes, police failed to anticipate the extent of violence which would take place. But the whole state has been on an alert. But when at one point the CM regrets that if we have these riots, we will lose on the investment. And on the other side, he says that kabar khod ke nikalenge. You are yourself creating an atmosphere and ordinary citizen will suffer. Everyone else, all these VIPs will go with 6 boxers and 20 policemen to guard them. Nobody will guard an ordinary citizen or his vehicle. And we must make it clear to your audience and to the people on the street.
You know, when I try and make this clear to the people on the street and to my audiences, I get targeted because I am then accused of not, we are accused of protecting the rioters. The rioters, I want to make it very clear. Let me say that before I come to you, Jammu Anand. I want to make this very clear. Violence is unacceptable. It is criminal activity. Whether the violence is perpetrated by a Muslim group led by a local aspiring politician, unacceptable. Whether you've got Hindu groups and leaders like Nitesh Rane making the kind of inflammatory remarks about raising a tomb, unacceptable. All of this is violative of the law. The question is, if the law acts even-handedly, then there is hope. The worry is that at times law and lawmakers do not act even-handedly, and that builds further resentments. Nothing justifies the kind of criminal behavior we saw on the streets of Nagpur. I want to make that very clear. But Jammu Anand, do you fear? Do you fear this will get worse, or are there people, sane minds, which can bring the groups together? Are there people in Nagpur and other parts of Maharashtra who realize that if we really talk of Shiv Shahi, Shivaji spoke of mutual coexistence. Are there any leaders you see in Maharashtra who talk that language anymore?
See, Rajdeep, now nobody talks and believes in Shivaji. Whatever the politician does against the teachings of the Shivaji. The whole question of Nagpur is, people of Nagpur are peace-loving people. There is absolute very good relationship between various religious citizens. Hindus and Muslims were staying together for hundreds and more years. And you also visited Nagpur many a times. The question is whether such an incident which happened on Monday could have been avoided or not. My take is very much it could have been avoided, because the incident of burning the chadar and everything took place in the morning, and a group of youth went to the police station, but police did not act till up to the evening by 7 o'clock, and police allowed that video of burning of the chadar to play for hours together. Everybody knows this is Ramzan month, and the area where the incident took place, there are 3 police stations come, and hardly all these police stations are 1 kilometer distance. Ganeshpet police station, Tehsil police station, and Kotwali police station. And this is the old Nagpur, very busy Nagpur, sensitive part of the city. When Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindu Parishad takes to street and does such a act and videos are played, police should have taken this as serious, which could even reaction may come during this Ramzan. Why the police has taken this incident of Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindu Parishad so carelessly? In a way, I would like to, it will not be an exaggeration. Is it that the system or the administration wanted to make this whole Aurangzeb issue where such an incident should take place? Unfortunately,
I want to make it clear.
Was, ultimately,
sir, I want to make that very clear. That is speculation. Whether the police wanted an incident like this to take place, I would tend to give the Maharashtra police, at least a section of it, the benefit of the doubt. We have some very fine police officers in Maharashtra. Let's not, damn the entire police force at this stage. That would be unfair unless we have concrete proof that the police did not act in the way they did. Vivek Deshpande, my final word to you, Vivek Deshpande. Do you see things getting worse before they get better, given the kind of communal poison that is now being thrown into Maharashtra? Do you fear, as someone who has tracked Maharashtra politics, is Maharashtra, as some fear, going to become like Gujarat when it comes to divisions between Hindus and Muslims?
Yeah, Rajdeep, unfortunately, it seems so, because, if the ministers and the chief minister himself is speaking in incendiary terms, then I think the future of Maharashtra politics is on a very dangerous curve. So it seems that nobody wants to budge from whatever they are doing, particularly minister like Nitesh Rane, who is talking in terms which are absolutely, I mean, it calls for immediate legal action against him, but nobody is taking him on. And even the Chief Minister is not telling him to mind his words. So, and Chief Minister himself is speaking in these terms himself. So, I think if this is beginning to be repeated at the topmost level of the government, then I think there is hardly anything that one can do.
Okay,
This is the job of the government.
I'm going to leave it there. Clearly, the message is clear. Maharashtra's politicians are playing with fire. This is hardly what the images that we want to see coming from a state like Maharashtra, which calls itself the country's industrialist heartland. You make these statements, you make your bhadkau bhashans, and then you fail to act in time. There are serious questions. The Muslims, mobs who resorted to violence must be acted against, and those who resort to these inflammatory statements must be acted against. Let's be clear about that. No one must be allowed to take the law into their own hands. That is the challenge before Devendra Fadnavis's government. You can't run with the secular hare and hunt with the communal hound, Mr. Chief Minister, anymore. Let's then turn to our next story from there. Because there is trouble brewing between Himachal Pradesh and Punjab now. A Himachal Road Transport Corporation has filed a complaint in connection with attacks on its buses that took place in Punjab in the last few days. The attacks took place as the bus was moving from Chandigarh to Hamirpur in Himachal Pradesh. Even pictures of Bhindranwale had been pasted on HRTC buses. Take a look at just how Himachal Pradesh and Punjab also have become a flashpoint.
Himachal Road Transport Corporation buses targeted in Punjab. Following the vandalism, the HRTC indefinitely suspends services between the two states. The controversy started a few days ago when tourists and devotees from Punjab were confronted for allegedly carrying flags with Bhindranwale's photo. Incidents were reported from Manikaran and Manali. The Sikhs claim that some of them were attacked in Himachal Pradesh. On Tuesday, a video of radical Sikh outfit, Dal Khalsa activists, pasting pictures of separatist Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale on an HRTC bus in Punjab's Hoshiarpur went viral. The Dal Khalsa activists stopped HRTC buses and other vehicles with Himachal Pradesh registration and put photos of Bhindranwale on them. With tensions rising, Himachal Chief Minister Sukhvinder Sukhu dialed Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann.
मुख्यमंत्री जी से बात हुई, उन्होंने भी इस विषय पर गंभीरता से बात की है। उन्होंने कहा कि ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है और जो भी मिसक्रेंट्स है उनके खिलाफ जो हमारे को कार्रवाई करनी होगी हम कार्रवाई करेंगे और उन्होंने कहा कि डीजीपी साहब लेवल पर बात करेंगे।
Former Chief Minister Jairam Thakur raised the issue in Himachal Pradesh Assembly.
हिमाचल की बसें पंजाब में जा रही हैं, तलवार की नोक पर उनको रोका जा रहा है, बसों पर भिंडरावाला के फोटो लगा रहे हैं। हिमाचल का आदमी असुरक्षित महसूस कर रहा है, पंजाब जाने से कतरा रहा है, ड्राइवर कंडक्टर जो है वो चिंतित है, उनकी सुरक्षा का जिम्मा हिमाचल प्रदेश सरकार का है।
Akali Dal leader Sukhbir Singh Badal, in a message on X, condemned the alleged attacks on Sikhs in Himachal. He said the flags objected to by people in Himachal were the Khalsa Nishan Sahib that symbolize Sikh faith and patriotic pride. He appealed to the Himachal Chief Minister to step in. Badal also urged Home Minister Amit Shah to hold a meeting with Chief Ministers of hill stations to ensure that such incidents are brought to a stop immediately. The alleged targeting of Sikh tourists in Himachal Pradesh and the vandalism Himachal buses in Punjab have become a flashpoint between the two states. Leaders cutting across political parties are calling for a quick and timely action. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn to tonight's Good News Today story. Astronauts Sunita Williams and Barry Butch Wilmore have finally returned to Earth after spending almost 9 months at the International Space Station. The two NASA astronauts aboard SpaceX's Dragon capsule splashed off the coast of Florida in the early hours this morning. We'll be joined in a moment by one of NASA's top scientists, but first, take a look at Sunita's homecoming.
Down. Crew 9 back on Earth.
That is none other than Sunny Williams. Big smile, big waves.
After spending over 9 months in space, NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore have finally returned safely to Earth. In a nearly 2-hour-long textbook splashdown, conducted by NASA and SpaceX.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
And you see at the hatchway,
the crew put on their flight suit, strapped into their seat, and completed leak checks, ensuring the vehicle was ready for departure. The descent began after the hatch of the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft carrying the astronauts was sealed. Then the deorbiting process began.
And you're beginning to see that plasma trail as Dragon re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
The preparation for crew's first step back on Earth began at 3:24 a.m.
where the drogue parachutes are located.
And just 10 minutes later, Dragon capsule was lifted on to the recovery boat. Much to the amusement of billions of people glued to the splashdown, a pod of dolphins was found swimming nearby the capsule.
They're between... Oh, dolphin cam back again.
The spacecraft door opened at 4:09 a.m. as the world watched the medical evacuation in awe.
These photos will get...
By 4:13 a.m., the first pictures of the crew were released. With smiles and cheers, Crew 9 was welcomed with a round of applause. First to emerge was Commander Nick Hague.
And that is NASA astronaut Nick Hague.
Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov was second to emerge.
Again, big smile.
And then extracted out of the capsule, a beaming Sunita Williams was the third, waving at the world cheerfully and flashing a thumbs-up sign.
That is none other than Sunny Williams. Big smile, big waves.
There we have it, some waves, some thumbs up and some smiles.
Her fellow astronaut, Butch Wilmore, was the last astronaut to be extracted out of the capsule.
Once again, some elation and cheers there.
Once we docked Crew 10 safely, looking at the weather patterns, finding this great opportunity that we landed at today, adjusting the timeline. It's never easy. Spaceflight's always dynamic. Sometimes it seems like things move from step to step, but there's usually different paths along the way.
I want to tell you, I want to thank the Crew 9 team and the ground teams for their dedication to excellence, their resilience, their flexibility during this expedition, everything they did to have a successful expedition as you have all witnessed.
Sunita Williams' return marks the conclusion of a historic 287-day space odyssey. The White House welcoming the astronauts, referring to President Trump's pledge to bring them back.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
And boasting that a promise was made and the promise is delivered. Bureau Report, India Today.
Some smiles, thumbs up and a wave. Can't get any better than that.
Okay, let's go straight across to Dr. Ravi Margasayam. He's a former NASA scientist who's worked closely with various NASA space missions. He's in Florida at the moment. Appreciate your joining us, sir. First, let me turn to you. When you saw that wonderful moment, Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore finally landing back on Earth after almost 9 months in space, your first reactions, relieved?
Welcome home. Yeah, I've been in the midst of many challenges with NASA for 38 years. And one of the things I always thought that, I couldn't bring Kalpana Chawla back home safely. And this time, yes, we were on tenterhooks. Yeah, we were really concerned about it. But also, we knew that NASA team and the SpaceX team would do a great job because it's all about putting your full effort and, anything can go wrong. But I was very happy to get them back. They were never stranded there, nor they were stuck. This was a plan by NASA to continue their journey, because I've been in space exploration and human space exploration for 30 years. And, we take advantage of humans in space because we extended mankind's reach to low Earth orbit. And with that, I want people to understand that they were never struck. Our NASA didn't fail. It is just a new plan. We decided to extend their stay. Like, if you go from here to Dubai, from Mumbai to Dubai, you don't want to stay one hour and come back. You want to spend 10 days there. And imagine, I got, in 1970, we got 3 astronauts stranded from the moon on Apollo 13. So 240 miles is nothing for me, And we have already docked Soyuz rockets. So what happens, let's say, if there's a fire on ISS, we can't ask Elon Musk or anybody to send a rocket to get them because it will take 24 hours. So that's where Soyuz comes into the picture. So there is a lot of misrepresentation, misinformation in India and other parts of the world that they're stuck. We have to rescue them. I'm sorry to say, no, it's not.
You alluded there briefly, sir, to Kalpana Chawla and how that mission sadly ended tragically. Surely, therefore, the last leg must have kept NASA and its scientists on their toes. The last leg of the return journey can always be tricky when the SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft re-entered the atmosphere.
Yes, it's always a difficult job. As they say, I come from the launching world. I launched 100 space shuttle rockets with 700 humans to space. And I know the importance of launching. Launching is always the most difficult part of the program. But landing is more easy. But then we found out with the really bad situation with Kalpana Chawla, and I still look back at that and cry every day. But on this token, when Sunita Williams was coming from SpaceX, yes, we have checked all the things. There still things can go wrong because space is very unforgiving. It's like baseball. When you have like 3 strikes and out in space, you get one mistake and you're out. So that means you have an accident or a disaster or a near miss or a close call, whatever you call it. Yes, we are always on our toes. And that's why we have the best team at NASA to work together.
The extended period of time that they spent in space, do you believe they've made the best of it? What, according to you, has NASA gained from Sunita and Barry spending these 9 months out there in space?
Great question. So once we found out that they couldn't come back after 8 days, we decided to let them stay there. And they were never in any danger because we had supply missions from not only a Cygnus rocket and SpaceX and Soyuz and Progress to supply food and shelter, food for them. So if you look at it that respect, we extended the stay because we want to do experiments in space. So what is our ultimate goal? To send humans, make them live and work in space. And we have been doing that for 25 years now without any hassle, right? So on this thing, we did a lot of microgravity experiments, studying yeast samples, a lot of biomanufacturing, exploring how nutrients work in space and deep space missions. We also did a lot of water recovery system, which is very important for long duration travel in space, gardening, waste management, water management, improve sustainability. The whole aspect of long duration space. When I say long duration, I'm talking about more than 3 months to 6 months to 9 months, And this is what we are talking about going to moon. Mars will evolve. And that's where we did a lot of experiments, right. Over 600 science, individual science missions,
More than 600 science experiments carried out by Sunita and Barry in space. From a final question, from a personal point of view, how do you think Sunita Williams will now have to adjust to being back on Earth after over 280 days in space? There have been concerns expressed over her health. Are you confident that she will be healthy enough maybe to go back to the space in the near future?
Well, if you ask me, and knowing Sunita, I launched the first 2 Indian women to space, and I launched Kalpana twice. Second time I didn't get her back. I launched Suni in STS-116 and got her back immediately in STS-117 mission in 2006 and 7. So as far as I'm concerned, if you ask her now, she says, I want to go back. But NASA won't let her do that. But yes, we have seen astronauts stay there more than 286 days, which is for Sunita Williams. She will adjust, because don't forget that we continuously monitor them 24/7 in space, okay? 365 days. We have doctors, we have instruments there in space. We make sure that they're monitored not only for all the physiological or psychological problems and blood samples, dosimeters for radiation, everything, and then they do exercises, right? So basically, they're part of the human research facility, HRF, where we are controlling how they feel. Now, let's say Sunita Williams got sick about 6 months ago, or 3 months, I mean, not 6 months ago, 3 months ago. Instead of 286 days, after 100 days, she got sick. I could put her on SOUs and get her back. So there was no problem at all. And NASA doctors are continuously working with ISS, and we have all kinds of telemedicine going on, including understanding of cancer, blood. You know, we have a centrifuge to check the blood tests and stuff like that. When she came to the ground, yes, it will take her 6 weeks, maybe 6 months to recoup. But yes, it will be slow, but sure. I've seen astronauts coming back from space station at times. They were sleeping literally, like Andy Thomas from Australia. He stayed more than 300 days there. So it's like, you know, we do have a problem for her to adjust the bodily functions and stuff like that. But it's not nothing new that we don't know, you know. We know all the details of how to counteract or countermeasure.
Well, that's very reassuring. What you're saying is Sunita could be back in space, who knows, in the near future. But I appreciate you, Dr. Margasayam, joining me there from Florida, giving us, in a way, an insider's view from NASA. Thanks so much. Okay, just about enough time tonight to leave you with our fact check of the day. A video going viral on social media claiming that a Muslim e-rickshaw driver in Lucknow was beaten to death by the police. India Today's fact check has uncovered the truth. That's what we try and do, bust the fake news industry. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar. Take a look at our fact check tonight. Bye for now.
You are watching Fact Check segment where we bust fake news. A video is going viral on social media claiming that a Muslim e-rickshaw driver in Lucknow was beaten to death by the police. The video shows a man being carried by police officers while a crowd gathers around. Many posts accompanying the video allege that the man died immediately from the beating. However, India Today's fact check has uncovered the truth. The incident occurred during an anti-encroachment drive when Noor Mohammed, an e-rickshaw driver, was beaten by the police, rendering him unconscious, but he did not die. This fact check on viral fake news is done by India Today's team Afa. This is AI Sana signing off.